Welcome to another edition of Sundays with Steve. My name is Mike Rennick. I'm the senior broker, the team lead with Team Rennick Real Estate Services, part of that great Keller Williams on the Water family. This video and others are part of my promise to tell the story of Longboat Key from the folks that live, play, and work here. My guest today is Mr. Stephen Reed. He is the owner and publisher of not only the Longboat Key News, but also the Sarah City News. Welcome, Steve.
Hey, good morning.
You always add excitement to our videos.
I'm glad to hear it.
And when we start, I never know where we're going to end up, so that's what makes this interesting. But I think you and I have seen this parcel before. Where are we today?
Well, we are on Longboat Key. We're just east of Publix, and we are at what was going to be the site of the Arts, Community, and Education Center, Arts, Cultural, and Education Center on Longboat Key.
Earlier, we did a film of tearing down the Amore restaurant, which was prepping for what you're just saying.
That's right.
So now you can see with the video that it's gone, but there's been some kind of a change. What happened?
Well, it was a major plan, years in the making, and a partnership between the town of Longboat Key and the Ringling College. And what happened was Ringling canceled the exhibit. They are done.
So let's stop for just a second. We'll come back to that point. Ringling College is based out of Sarasota. They're a liberal arts college.
Yeah.
Correct? So they were going to partner with the city, or the town of Longboat Key, technically not a city. But we had a cultural center on the north end that was sponsored by Ringling before, is that correct?
Well, let's straighten a few things out. They're
That's
an art,
why I have you here.
They're an art and film school primarily.
Okay.
Right? Now, they also have a lot of other programming. They have a huge continuing education program that takes place on the mainland. They also they're opening up the Sarasota Museum of Modern Art, and they've had a long history in the area. The world-renowned school, and on the north end, it wasn't a education or cultural center. What it was the art center, the Longboat Key Art Center.
And they sponsored or funded it?
Well, it went on for years, 30 years independently, and then Ringling took it over about 15 years ago, ran it for about 5 or 6 years, and then they closed it. And they closed it for a number of reasons. They sought to expand, the neighbors fought it. The buildings were dilapidated. They really felt that they could not accomplish what their mission was there, so they sold it. The land has been sold, developed into single-family residences. Meanwhile, the city, the town of Longboat Key, has sought to build a major community center for quite a long time.
And actually on the property we're standing on, correct?
Well, that was the second iteration. The first was at Bayfront Park, and then the town did a big study with the Urban Land Institute, and they came to the conclusion through the Urban Land Institute that what Longboat is lacking is really a center. If you notice, you have Publix and a parking lot, you have all these. If you were to scan the area around us, we're surrounded by the temple. We've got another church.
A great real estate office right across the side street.
You've got a real estate office. Swing a dead cat in Sarasota and you hit a realtor. And then you got, oh, sorry, Mike.
Or a newspaper publisher. And
we're the dying breed. But anyway.
I understand that. That's why we're asking you to come here. So
that's right, yeah. So we got Town Center. You have the tennis center.
We don't really have a downtown area, a center to draw folks.
We don't. So I'm in Town Hall, not Town Center, and you have the banks. So the idea was to create this property as a hub. And the town bought one parcel and then a second parcel, the second one being Amore Restaurant, and you had an aggregate of about over 4 acres, and they spent almost $4 million for this land. And the concept was to build a community center, community art center, to replace what was on the north end, to have all kinds of educational activities, to have classes, a place where retirees can go do pottery work and take watercolor classes. And there was also this idea of a black box theater, so on and so forth. And the town formally partnered with Ringling.
Okay.
And the idea was the town would provide the land, Ringling would manage and oversee it and run it, and the money to build it, which would be, originally was around $18 million, was all through fundraising, through the Longboat Key Foundation.
Philanthropic efforts, things
right.
like that.
And Ringling agreed to play a major part of that role, hired a fundraiser. You had Jeff Mayers and people like former Mayor Jim Brown on the community group foundation, and they were all geared up to go, ready to go. And then what happened was Ringling came back this past January, and told the town, hey, the Black Box Theater and this theater idea is almost doubling the cost.
Okay.
If we really want to be successful, and Ringling's good at knowing the fundraising community, and they're good at accomplishing what they set out to do. So they told the town, you got to scale it back and get the total cost cut in about half.
Okay.
So they did that. The town agreed to that. They got rid of the Black Box Theater. They kind of scaled the building down, and we're just going to have sort of a multi-purpose room where they can have theatrical productions, and they were going to have all the rest of the stuff. And this was in January. Then they had to take that new agreement and memorialize it. It takes a vote of the commission to say, okay, here's the scope of the project. Right. Well, the Community Foundation was waiting for that to be approved. Ringling was waiting for it to be approved. And over the last 2 months, two of the commissioners, one George Spoll, the other Vice Mayor Ed Zunz, totally nitpicked, fault-finded Ringling, questioned why Ringling failed on the north end, talked about if it really met the goals of the community, talked about we need more time, and really caused a lot of upset on those who wanted to move forward.
They were asking some basic foundational kind of questions of the validity of the project. Is that another way to say that?
Well, what they were doing, it depends how you look at it. It was almost more like C-SPAN and filibustering. This has been going on for years, this project. There's been so much vetting and conversation. We have been in these agreements with Ringling were years in the making. This didn't just pop up like a mushroom. So what happened was we were getting near the finish line. They needed this to fundraise, the Community Foundation. Ringling needed it to fundraise. And they had already spent a lot of money, a lot of community soul searching. Previous commission spent the $4 million to buy this land.
Right.
And they were so, I mean, if you had been at these meetings, the mayor was questioning really the integrity of Ringling. And then to cap it off, after these series of meetings, another publication in town, not to be mentioned, ran what they called an unscientific survey.
Okay.
They did a survey saying, and they loaded the questions, in my opinion, to say, do we need this?
Okay.
They didn't say it's going to be paid for by private philanthropic funds.
Correct.
And if it's all paid for, would this be something you would enjoy? They asked it in a loaded way. It's like saying, you know, do you need a new BMW? Well, no one needs it, right? So it was really a loaded question. So this lukewarm survey came back. Between that, the negativity on the commission, Ringling President Larry Thompson just last week said, we're done. It's so negative.
Okay.
And the feedback is so debilitating from a fundraising point of view, you've essentially killed the project. So at this time, we're not moving forward. We can't, because we won't be able to collect the funds.
Right.
So the former mayor, Terry Gans, current commissioner, Kenneth Schneier, both are very upset about it. They spent years, especially Terry Gans, helping to bring this about. And so now we're standing on the site of what will end up being.
What will happen now?
Well, a couple things can happen. The town now, without Ringling, can build its own center. I don't know how they're going to fundraise for it, or if they'll be successful in doing that, or whether they're going to use town money, use taxpayers' dollars, which would be the quick, easy way to do it, but probably not popular in the end. And if someone did a survey on that, they'd really hate it. So we kind of shot ourselves that way. But what we're really gonna see, and what's definite, is we're gonna have a more than $4 million park. We're gonna have a little 4-acre grassed and seeded area with some...
which we see behind us, actually.
Yeah,
the grass seed
they'll
is
probably have a couple porta potties, and they'll put a little stage or a little amphitheater area so we can have an outdoor concert in the park and so on. I mean, we have that at Durant Park, we have that at Bayfront.
Right.
This was supposed to be a community arts center. So we're back to community soul searching. But unfortunately, it was a done deal. There was so much work, and it was sad to see them go. It is a loss.
At this point, in summary, because we're getting close to our time limit, it'll turn out to be a park, and there's possibilities of other proposals coming forward. We'll have to wait and see. We can come back over time and share updates as they occur.
That's what we'll do. I wish it was all positive. I'm a big fan of Ringling, big fan of Longboat. It was a perfect marriage, would add property value to the area. But I think we have some caveats, some smart commissioners, and I think what we'll see, something good will come of it eventually.
Steve, again,
hey,
thank you. I appreciate the fact that you don't hold back. You share exactly what your feelings are. And again, our promise to keep you up to date about Longboat Key. Thanks, everyone.
Take it easy, Mike. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.